All right, this is our next episode of True Wrestling Fans Discussions, continuing the adventures of Hulk Hogan. This is gonna cover the Ultimate Challenge, and a couple other things. So I'm your host, Mike.
I'm Frank. Man, let's get into this. We had a lot to cover. Um, we left it off previously as of going into 1990 with the Royal Rumble. Well, let me backtrack a little bit and let you know exactly how much Hogan was dealing with at this point. Because believe it or not, towards the end of 1989, he's dealing with not only the genius, Randy Savage's young
Mhm.
brother, but also the up and coming Mr. Perfect and I remember seeing this live, and I was actually, man, I was so pissed off at this when Hulk Hogan loses by countout
Yep,
to the Genius on Saturday Night Main Event,
unbelievable.
and Perfect they steal the belt, and they're in the back breaking the damn
Breaking.
thing while Genius is just dancing around like a fool, and Perfect's over there with a hammer just
Yep.
beating the crap out of it, which came to the hardcore title later. But I was like, oh hell no. And now, and as a kid, I was thinking, is this going to go to WrestleMania? I'm like, because Mr. Perfect was just now starting
Yeah.
to become into his own. So now Hogan's got that feud to deal with going into 1990. But like we left off in the last episode, in the Royal Rumble, the two men at one point were left in the ring after they cleared everybody else out. It was Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior. And
Yep.
this place in Orlando just exploded when they saw these two guys.
Yeah. It was crazy to see when it's just them two, and then they kind of like they look at each other. They kind of like look slowly. The crowd goes crazy. I remember watching this live and just like being blown away because you never thought you'd see Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior, the two most popular baby faces, unstoppable forces in the ring, and you don't
Yeah.
know what's gonna happen. You have no idea what's gonna happen.
And they tried each other out with
Mhm.
the test of strength. And you remember Ventura, boom, nobody moves.
Yep.
And it was just a small taste of what was to come 3 months down the road. And so, I mean, we all know Hulk Hogan wins that Royal Rumble. But this, this set the stage for it. Vince saw something. I don't know if he had this planned by that point
Yeah, he did.
or
He did. Yeah.
okay,
But that was kind of they had it planned. They had already pretty much made the decision where they were gonna go with Warrior. Hulkamania, it was still very, very popular, but the popularity was kind of waning at that point,
yeah,
and Warrior was on the rise.
oh yeah,
But they did that Warrior and Hogan segment at the Royal Rumble just to get a feel. Is this gonna work?
yeah.
To
Is the
find
crowd
out.
going to enjoy
Yeah,
this?
and
Oh,
yep.
did we? And now with Warrior on the horizon of possibly facing him, he's now involved in Hogan's storylines
Mhm.
because on January 27th, 1990, at the Saturday Night Main Event, it was Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior versus Mr. Perfect and the Genius.
Yeah, I just want to say something real quick. I couldn't believe when these two teamed up as a kid. Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior on the same team. Like it was unbelievable. It was the WWF champion, the WWF Intercontinental champion, my two favorite wrestlers, and they're teaming up. As a kid, I can't even explain like how excited me and my brother were going crazy. I remember when they were advertising this, and we were like, "Oh, tonight we're gonna." And I remember I think I kind of like dozed off. And my brother woke me up before the main event came on, Saturday night's main event, and wow, man, wow,
I mean, honestly, it's kind of hard staying up on a Saturday till 11:30 at that age, to watch this. But
yeah,
you find a way.
yeah, yeah,
And if
yeah,
you're not supposed to be up, you just do what I
right,
do:
right,
put it on mute and put a towel under the door so your parents can't see the light.
exactly.
So, but yeah, that was an unbelievable match just to see the two of those guys team together. And like we said, this is you see a Billy being built on the
Yeah.
horizon.
Well, it's funny. Before that, they had their promo for the Saturday night's main event, and like apparently they had worked out whatever differences they had at the Royal Rumble. So everybody's thinking, oh, they're going to be friends now, whatever. Because we didn't really know they were going to fight at WrestleMania yet. The
Not
Ultimate
yet, no.
Challenge had yet to be declared. So you think that everything is going to go fine with these two, and then it goes left towards the end of that match. I believe that Warrior clotheslines him by accident, and then Hogan's like getting up, and then Hogan like pushes him off. They come face to face, and everyone's like, "Oh no, the two Ultimate Powers two baby faces. It's like you don't want them to fight, but then you do want them to fight because you want to see what's going to happen as a kid.
I think at that point I was wanting to see it.
Yeah, I did.
And
I didn't know. The thing is, we didn't know we wanted to see it until this
we
stuff
saw it.
until this stuff starts happening because we didn't see babyface versus babyface like that. Maybe at some house shows they did it, but not in
Not for WrestleMania.
right.
This was the first.
In a big program. So it's actually after this, and I can't find this footage anywhere, man. I don't know. I've looked on YouTube. I've searched everywhere, but Hulk Hogan actually issues the ultimate challenge to the Ultimate Warrior, and I guess it. I don't. I believe it was Jack Tunney that said title for title, which was huge.
Was you talking about the scene where they're at the desk signing the
contract?
The original.
I'm talking about the original because later on they do have that press conference.
Yeah.
But it's announced title for title, and it was just amazing. Like, we're gonna get this match. But before that, we go into the main event, which was what was the date on that?
The main event number 3, February 23rd, 1990. Because we can't forget that Hogan's not done with Savage yet. Let's backtrack a little bit back to 89 for a moment. Hogan and Savage had their what they labeled it as a WrestleMania rematch on a London pay-per-view.
That's right, yeah.
In which Hogan obviously beat him, but this one coming up on the main event was like the final encounter between the two, and it was special guest referee Buster Douglas.
Yes. Well, do you remember that was supposed to actually be Mike Tyson? What happened was Buster Douglas knocked out Mike Tyson maybe a week or two before. It was fairly close to it. They had already advertised Mike Tyson was going to be there, but I guess he didn't want to do it after that. Don King said no, and they were able to scramble at the last minute, and they were able to get Buster Douglas. Yeah.
Is that who Tyson saw on the airline the other day?
Yeah. Oh,
maybe. That was a fiasco.
I think I read somewhere or heard on a podcast that this was supposed to be Hogan and I think Hogan and Warrior were supposed to team up again against somebody, and then once they got Mike Tyson, all that stuff went out the window.
Well, I mean, we didn't get a bad match. I mean,
no, it was actually really good.
Besides the fact that Buster Douglas was part of it, but I mean, Hogan defeated him, and then Savage was laid out, which was pretty cool at that point. So now Hogan is done with Randy Savage. That feud culminated at that. So now we focus going forward to WrestleMania. I mean, he still had Mr. Perfect, looming in there, but it wasn't as big at this point. They did have one more Saturday night main event after WrestleMania, which didn't pertain to this.
That very same night, it's Warrior versus Dino Bravo Intercontinental title match. Earthquake and Dino Bravo were part of the same stable with Jimmy Hart. So Earthquake is going to beat up Warrior. But who comes out to save him? Hulk Hogan. So that was really interesting because Warrior didn't want his help and everything. So then they're kind of like looking at each other and everything. You think they're going to go at it again?
Yeah.
And then there was some good promos after that though, because Hogan was saying how he wanted to make sure that Warrior was 100% for WrestleMania. That's why he came out and he helped them. And then Warrior cut a great promo too, and he was saying how the Hulkamaniacs aren't sure if they could beat Warrior, and it was just really good promos between the two of them. I remember it was the same night, I believe. It was the same night they both cut separate promos, so the buildup was really good.
Oh yeah.
Then 2 weeks later, Warrior comes out to save Hulk Hogan. I think it was on Superstars of Wrestling, and he saves him from a beatdown from Earthquake. And then I remember they come face to face, and then Warrior just runs off. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, that I do remember. Because Ventura's like, "Where's that idiot going?"
Yeah, Warrior gets the hell out of the Dodge. So after that, I don't know if you remember the contract signing. That was really cool. Remember Warrior had the jacket on, he had his hair in a ponytail.
Yeah, still had the face paint on.
They're sitting across from each other at the table. They have the two belts there. Jack, I think it was Jack Tunney, right?
Jack Tunney, yeah, what an idiot.
Jack Tunney, and they hadn't done a contract signing in a while.
Not since Hogan Andre at this magnitude.
I think so, right?
Yeah.
Because
I mean, this is just as big as Hogan Andre at this point, if not bigger.
Remember Lord Alfred Hayes title for a title. Yeah.
You know, the whole time as a kid, I'm like, I can't. Hogan Intercontinental Champ, because obviously you think he's going to win at that point because Hogan's unbeatable, and I'm like, I can't see Hulk Hogan being Intercontinental Champion. I'm like, I just don't see it. And then obviously, well, we get what we get. But I thought the contract signing was awesome. The way they did it was perfect. You couldn't have done it any better.
And the promos, man,
phenomenal.
Warriors.
It's just a shame we only got one match like that. Imagine, if everything was to have gone the way it was moving forward, how could we have gotten that match again? But I don't think it would have been as great as the first one.
No. I just love that Warrior promo when he talks about the airplane and he tells them to tear open the cockpit door, and that the pilots were ready to die anyway. They already made the ultimate sacrifice, and then put the plane into a nosedive. Hulk again. That was great stuff, man.
I love, especially on WrestleMania 6, when you watch the interview, how he said his name and how many times he said it. It's like, oh my God. And I thought it was cool at WrestleMania the way Warrior looked, because he put the face paint.
Yeah, he put the symbol.
Chest. He put about 5 pounds of hairspray
on,
that throw up.
Yep.
He looked the part, and I love that when the main event comes and you hear, as soon as Howard Finkel doesn't even say anything yet. They if you remember, they did the promos, and then all of a sudden when they cut to it, Warrior's music already starts playing.
You just hear the music,
and everybody, the minute you can see the flashes going off as he's coming down, and Ventura saying that could be a mistake. He's running,
yeah, and expending energy. A little side story to this. Apparently, this is according to Warrior. I believe him. He said that Vince, remember everybody on WrestleMania 6 was coming out in those carts?
The carts, yeah.
Carts of the ring. That he wanted Warrior to come on the cart. So Warrior was like, nah, I'm not doing it. So he's ready. He's getting ready. He's getting ready. He's in character and everything. And then the producers are like telling him about the cart, and he's like blowing them off. And then he hears Vince say, Warrior. And then Warrior doesn't even look at him. He says, Vince, I'm running to the ring. And then Vince tells the crew, you heard him, boys. He's
that's the only way he could do it.
Yeah, that's it.
If we saw him in a cart, he's
come on.
As energetic as the guy is coming to the ring, he'd have tore that cart up halfway up the ramp. It didn't fit him.
Yeah.
And him running was perfect.
Yeah, of course, that's what he does.
And then Hogan coming out. Like Ventura said, the crowd sidewise is 50-50. And then they're like, we're not even going to try to talk through this, because 67,000 people are going ape shit.
Yeah, they were going crazy. I was going crazy at my uncle's house. I didn't know who to root for, man. I was I was so conflicted because I was a Hulkamaniac through the 80s, but I loved Warrior. Warrior was my guy. So I'm watching these two guys go at it, and I'm like, I don't know who to root for, man. Then they did the I like that stare down they do. Then they did the test of strength. They had some really good spots.
They both wouldn't take the belts off yet. They're waiting for the other one.
Yep.
I remember watching this match going, oh, to hell with it. I don't know who's a pick. I'll go with the winner.
Right, whoever wins. Yeah, it's kind of one of those things. Yep.
And it was just an unbelievable match.
Great story, yeah.
There was just one little problem with me anyway. Now looking back at it, when Hogan misses the leg drop and Warrior goes for the splash, Hogan makes the attempt to do the kick out at 3, and I'm like, why didn't he just stay down?
He kicked out at like 3.1.
Yeah.
But you know what? But to go back a little bit before, I remember Hogan actually had the match won, and the referee was knocked out. He has the match won, and then Warrior has the match won, and the referee's knocked out. But this is probably Hogan too. Hogan got that first pinfall that actually would have won the match. So it kind of, between that and him kicking up at 3.1, it kind of gives the impression like, oh, did he really beat him? And it was kind of close.
It's like, I'm going to let you beat me,
right?
But I'm not going to make it look good.
But I get it. Hogan's got to protect his character. I understand. I get it business-wise, because let's say the Warrior doesn't go over well. At least Hogan's character was protected. There's a lot of backstage politics. Warrior tells the story, too, when he gorilla pressed him. He was so tired. That's why when you watch that gorilla press...
you notice in his face, too, that you can see.
I think he takes like a deep breath, I think.
It was a 26-minute match.
And then and Warrior never had matches that long. And
No,
he
this is the
got
first
him
time
up though.
his face paint too was completely
Yeah,
gone.
yeah,
We
yeah. It
never
was
saw that either.
Oh, it was tremendous. This is such a great match, man.
It was.
Warrior gets a lot of flack for not having great matches, and Hogan to a degree. This was a tremendous match.
Yeah, and
Tremendous.
I like the passing of the torch at the
Mhm.
end. You know, Hogan goes outside. Now you think, oh shit, is he gonna wallop him with the belt?
Right.
Is he turning heel?
Mhm.
Don't do this. And I like that the respect that he gave it to him.
Yeah.
And
And
they
then they
hugged it
hugged.
out, and then
Yep.
they did the whole "I love
Yeah.
you" as Hogan. Now Hogan's going on the give me the
Right.
card. I can't walk
They
this ramp.
watched. Hogan told the story that he wanted to turn heel, that he was planning on he was going to take the belt and then hit Warrior and turn heel. But Bruce Pritchard said that that's not true. That there was never anything and Hogan said that was his idea on the spot to take the belt from the timekeeper and giving it to Warrior. But Bruce Pritchard says no. He said they laid out that whole thing, him taking the belt, him giving it to him, them hugging, him on the cart. They had all planned that out. And I even though I don't believe a lot of what Bruce Pritchard says, I do tend to believe that they had already planned that all out, because it was a passing of the torch, and Warrior was ready to be the next guy. Although
Hogan saved his character.
right, and then although Hogan says that he felt like Warrior wasn't ready, and I think a lot of that is just jealousy and insecurity. Personally, even though at the time I was a Hulkamaniac and a fan of his, looking back on it in hindsight, watching all the interviews with all these different guys, Hogan, Warrior, and other people, I kind of get the impression he was like a little bit jealous and a little bit insecure.
He probably was, because, like I said, you never want to pass the torch to your successor, because you don't know if he's going to be back in that spotlight. Obviously,
It's
Hulk
hard.
Hogan would be.
Yeah.
But you're stepping away from something that he has. You just had that 10 minutes ago.
And Hogan was on such a run for 6-7 years.
Yes.
And he still had a lot left to give. It's not like the guy was, on the way out. He still had a lot of gas in the tank. Later on, we see that with his second run in WCW.
Yeah.
But all in all, the Ultimate Challenge was tremendous. It's something that we haven't seen. I guess the closest thing we saw was when Austin fought Rock, and they were both baby faces. Mm-hmm. I would say that maybe Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, when they fought to a lesser degree, but not at the magnitude of Hogan and Warrior. This was huge, man. It was such a great story. It had such a great feel to it. To me, this is it's like almost a pinnacle. This and Andre, for me, Hogan and Andre, Warrior and Hogan is like the pinnacle of it.
Yes.
To me,
I agree. It's just a shame that you had 93,000 for Hogan Andre. I just wish that a venue would have been picked because this match easily could have broken that attendance record anywhere else. And only 67,000 to be there for it. Easily anywhere it could have been 100,000.
You know what it was? I think they didn't have the confidence, because it was babyface versus babyface. They didn't have the confidence.
I don't see why they wouldn't, because everybody was on this from the word go.
No, I'm with you, but it's not traditional. Remember, in a lot of ways, this is ground. What they're doing was groundbreaking at the time, so they didn't really have an example to look at. Like, okay, well, we did this, and this was huge. So then this was, the same babyface versus babyface.
Yeah.
So, but that's the Ultimate Challenge, man. You guys let us know your memories of the Ultimate Challenge. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll see you guys soon.
Take care.